Ancient rules you still follow for no reason by Trust Me Bro. I love this guy. He's made a shit ton of content with that is interesting that you can just play on your ears and like do work or something like that. So really appreciate his content. All right. Without further ado, ancient rules you still follow for no reason by Trust Me Bro.
Ancient traditions we still do for no reason. You and your best bro are sitting at a train station waiting on a bench for your train to come. You both have been so excited about the trip you're about to embark on, and you both are surprisingly feeling rather inquisitive today. And it's that inquisitiveness that's actually going to make today's journey rather insightful. As you both are beginning to get bored, you realize that you do have some time to kill before the train will arrive, and you decide to stroll around the city center while you wait. Almost immediately upon exiting the train station, you notice a beautiful fountain. This fountain is massive, historic, and has multiple water features, just making it look so cool. And interestingly, as you approach it, you notice that the entire bottom of this well is filled with coins.
Oh, yo, do you know, do y'all live near any like landmarks or big public art, like public displays of art? I know there's a lot of people that live near cities that live near public displays of art. I know Times Square has a shit ton of them. You know, France has a lot of them. Berlin has a lot of them. So, like wishing wells and stuff, I think it's really cool. New York has a bunch of them as well. So, Farmacia, Angelo. Oh, is this in Spain?
Coins. And you actively see people throwing coins into this well as you are looking at it. Obviously, not wanting to miss out on some good fortune, you decide to throw a coin of your own. And it's almost instantly after this coin
It is Spain. I think it's Spain. It is Europe, though.
leaves your hand that you begin to question, wait, why am I even doing this? Surely there's an explanation for people throwing currency into water features. However, luckily for you, your friend has a book on ancient traditions. And this book, admittedly, is going to do some heavy lifting today. And as your friend opens this book to tell you the answer to your question, he finds the specific page, and it's really quite interesting. You see, the tradition of tossing coins into a fountain doesn't date back 10 years or 100.
When y'all, okay, before, if you didn't know any of this knowledge, are y'all throwing coins in fountains? I never understood. It might have been the Jewish genes in me, but I never felt the need to like throw coins in wells or wish for good luck, because I was like, I could just use the I would save the coins for money. And I'd also think as a kid that there'd be somebody like at the nighttime or who would steal as many coins as possible. So I always thought when I threw my coin in there, it wouldn't make a difference, and I would just be filling the pockets of some dude who just decided to steal from the well. I don't even know. I still don't know to this day if there's any regulations or anything on throwing coins into wishing wells.
100 years, it dates back thousands of years. And the reason why we do it is literally an ancient belief that, well, just kind of stuck. The most commonly agreed upon explanation of this tradition actually dates back to Roman, British, and Celtic mythology. And the part of that mythology that most pertains to this, well, tradition is the fact that if you were out in the wild and happened to stumble upon some sort of fresh water source, such as a spring or creek or lake, you were literally blessed by a water deity who had just granted you good fortune and good health in the form of random clean drinking water. Now,
do they just like would they see this in person? Like what sparked the original idea that it brings you good fortune?
oh, obviously, because you have been given such a massive and random gift by the water deities, the only natural thing to do in return is, of course, repay them, which is where the monetary offering comes into place. It was commonplace at this time to literally leave money or gold in fresh water sources to repay nature and thank it for its offering, which is partially wholesome because it's such a deep gratitude for nature, but also kind of ironic because you're finding a clean water source and then instantly contaminating it. At least if you're using, well, dirty coins, specifically ones stored in your prison wallet. Regardless, while this tradition is
Prison wallet referred to him keystering it?
obviously interesting, there are other similar practices that actually predate coinage altogether. And many much older cultures that had similar beliefs about water deities would leave offerings such as food, special stones, carved artifacts, and even herbs in exchange and in gratitude of natural water sources that they also found. Now, interestingly, as time went on and beliefs changed and the religions evolved, the tradition itself stayed the same. However, the reasoning behind it simply took on a new meaning. During the Roman era, for example, travelers would typically throw coins into fountains right before a journey, using it as an offering for safe passage or success on their trip. And while that specific belief still definitely exists on the modern day, I would argue that for the most part, people that are throwing coins into wells in the big 2026 are usually just doing so for a bit of fun and potentially some good luck as well. And while in the modern day this tradition may seem like it's all fun and games, there was a time not too long ago where this tradition literally seemed like life or death. After getting this insightful history lesson from your bro, you now feel both informed and positive because you have just unintentionally blessed the journey you and your friend were about to go on.
I kind of like that because, okay, there is no way, even in modern age, to disprove or prove this like wrong, because certain belief systems and blessings go beyond science. With that being said, imagine like it's like 840 BC. You guys are traveling to a new adventure, right? You and your boy buddy like, all right, let's throw these goats in the water, or let's about to bless it through the passage, and then, or like you throw gold or an offering, whatever he was talking about, throwing it to a fresh water source. Y'all get on the trail and y'all get sick. You're like, bro, should have threw more gold in there or something. So, I don't know. When it comes to like superstitions in general, I think when it comes to superstitions, you will never really know if it really works, because sometimes people will follow superstition and then will still have bad luck, or like I wonder. I don't know. It's hard to articulate into words like who created superstition. I think every human has an innate idea or like feeling of spirituality or connection with something that they cannot explain, whether that be superstitions, whether that be a higher power, like stuff like that. So I find it kind of interesting and also kind of funny as well, because certain things you would that you don't normally believe in and you see other people follow it to the T is it's pretty cool to see. Very unique.
While the explanation that your friend had just given you was interesting, it was also lengthy, and the train was about to arrive any moment. As you and your friend rush to get onto your train, you sit down in your seats and begin to relax, thinking about the fun day you have ahead of you once you arrive in your location. But because you know you're stuck on this train for at least the next few hours, you decide to take out your laptop and get some work done. When of course, your mind notices another outdated tradition. As you open your laptop and wait for it to turn on, you look down at your keyboard and ask yourself, wait, why is every single keyboard laid out this way? Like, who decided to put A, S, D, F beside each other? And
I did question that when I was a kid, but I never really thought about it too hard. I always thought that it was made that way so I could play Flash games easier, because I didn't know that the keyboard was made before the game. So I thought the games were made before the keyboard, which was really stupid to honestly think about when I was a kid. But that's how I figured it out. I didn't figure it out because it's wrong, but I thought it was like, oh, they want this layout because your fingers fit better on WASD keys.
what the heck is a QWERTY? Wouldn't it just make more sense if the keyboard was A to Z? And while you continue to
Yeah, there is some, and I hate it. Like the Netflix or your what is it called? Your Roku TVs or smart TVs. Their keyboards will be laid out A to Z, and it is the most annoying rage bait shit ever, dude. I don't know why. It makes more sense, but now I'm just used to the WSD layout, and it's way more efficient in my opinion.
ponder this on your own, your friend is already flipping to the right page in the history book to see the ancient origin of this strange tradition. And he explains that the reason why keyboards are laid out the way they are date back all the way to the 1870s, which obviously isn't ancient, but
People were making keyboards in the 1870s.
I figured it was old enough to put on this list. Okay, this might sound a bit weird, but I only ask because I care. When was the last time you've seen a doctor? If your answer to that question was, I have no idea, then it's probably time to get a checkup. And luckily, today's video sponsor, ZocDoc, is here to help. ZocDoc reviews. No need to.
I just skipped like the majority of the video.
Can search and compare. Easy to book in-network appointments with patient specialties and even.
Are we serious?
Doctor,
ZocDoc. Go see the doctor eventually. Honestly, if I'm gonna really be completely honest, I don't really recommend. If you're living a healthy lifestyle, a 2,300 to 2,500 calorie diet a day, and you're healthy and you're not feeling crazy, then you should be chilling, bro. I don't really recommend paying ahead of medical bills or going to a doctor. Luca, what's up, dude? What's up, Luca?
Actual appointment openings, choose the time that works best for you, and instantly click week to book an appointment. Plus, ZocDoc helps you get appointments fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours. No need to call doctor's offices or wait on hold either. ZocDoc lets you do everything online. Top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com. And now, let's get back to it. In the 1870s, obviously, people were not creating keyboard layouts for computers. They were creating layouts for mechanical typewriters. And interestingly and intuitively, early typewriter prototypes actually
Not much, getting bent over by 17 credit hours. What? Generally miserable? What is a credit hour? Bro, what is it? Oh my goodness, dude. What is a credit hour?
had the alphabet laid out in A to Z formatting. But very quickly, people were running into one major issue. Letters that were commonly used consecutively would get
Oh, okay, right. 17 credits this semester, university. Okay, college. The big college. Aren't you in college? Ridge was years ago. Dude, I work for AUB now. I got my own office. And I didn't go to college. Yeah, Atlantic Union. Bank, the big drop. Oh, okay, good deal. Yeah. And I'm in cybersecurity school right now, but it's online and self-paced. So, I have your own office. What do you do? I'm a floating teller. I help all of the Atlantic Union banks in the Virginia Peninsula. So Richmond, Petersburg, Kilmarnock, Gloucester. I say Richmond, Chesterfield. Yeah, and some Maryland branches, but that's only if they really need me to. So
stuck together on the typewriter. And with a keyboard that goes from A to Z, some common combinations were, of course, E, F, A, B, S, T, N, O, and D, E.
Okay, so the layout was more common or more efficient for people to type. So instead of the typewriter or the keyboard being A to Z, it's now the WASD format.
Because of all of these common letter combinations being right beside each other in the keyboard, as I mentioned, A, they were getting stuck together, and B, the arms of the mechanical typewriter were actually striking each other, essentially jamming the machine, making it either temporarily inoperable or, in some better cases, just damaging it slightly. Regardless, they learned pretty quickly that A to Z was not sustainable for early keyboards, which is why they needed to make a new mechanical keyboard layout, and this job was completed by Christopher Scholes. Christopher's solution to this issue was to separate letters that were commonly used pairs to intentionally slow down typists and reduce the overlap in letters being used consecutively. That alone is kind of hilarious because in the 1870s, typists had to be nerfed because typists were literally so good and fast at typing that they were breaking.
Because now I feel like this layout makes it more consistent. Like if you type with both hands, you can type the way quicker than you could have typed it with two hands on a traditional keyboard. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I like this layout a lot better. And I think it's definitely something that I'm very grateful having.
The machines. Imagine how annoying that would be, being so good at typing that you were typing so fast the machine would break that you then had to replace that machine with a completely new layout. Like, I personally got a new Razer keyboard that has a whole new 6 buttons at the very left side of the keyboard, and that messed me up for weeks because every time I wanted to hit escape, I was actually hitting M6, and every time I thought I was hitting S, I was hitting A. Regardless, that small change was annoying, and I couldn't imagine experiencing an entirely new keyboard layout. And it's actually, ironically, this reason alone that we still use the QWERTY keyboard layout to this very day. Obviously, modern-day keyboards and computers have no issues with keys getting stuck or mechanical arms striking each other. And theoretically speaking, we could totally switch over to a number of different layouts, and there are actually other ones that do exist. However, the reason why the QWERTY layout is still the standard of the world to this day—
There's no way someone on this green earth uses a ball keyboard.
And theoretically speaking— However, the reason why—
What? This isn't real. Is that like a one-handed keyboard? Is that made for like somebody with one hand? Why would I understand like the curves and 70% or what even is this? There's a numpad. I love numpads. Numpads are awesome. I'm so glad we have numpad. What is this? I don't know. These two are just does it say matrix? That's insane, bro. Dude, imagine the keyboard ball is crazy.
Why the QWERTY layout is still the standard of the
Who's
world to
using
this very day, and likely will be forever, is simply because once it was established as the industry standard for typewriters, the format, the scale set, and the habit all sort of transitioned into other technological devices. And at this point now, even though the reasoning for this layout is completely redundant, it would be way more trouble than it's worth to try to introduce a new layout, even though it's, well, kind of
That shit looks like a video game operating controller.
obsolete at this point. So yeah, even though over 100 years ago, there was a very good reason to be using the QWERTY layout on a keyboard, in the modern day, the reason why we still use this format is more so tradition than efficiency. As your friend begins to close the history book after telling you all of this interesting information, you see a plume of dust blow out of the book as he slams it shut. And of course, the first thing your friend does is sneeze. The body's natural reaction to, well,
Bless you. We get to know about the history of saying bless you.
pollutants
Isn't it something like people thought that your heart would stop every time you sneezed?
in the nostrils. And while your friend
So like, oh, I think I actually heard about this one. Motherfuckers had like the plague or something, and they were coughing and sneezing, so the people would like bless them to like hope that they did not get the plague.
sneezes aggressively on this train, you respond to his sneeze without even thinking about it. And you tell him, bless you. But before your friend could even wipe off the snot he launched on the seat back in front of him, you ask him to open the book again. Because you're curious why we even say bless you in the first place. Obviously, this has to have some sort of ancient origin, and you need to get to the bottom of it. And luckily for you, your friend obliges. And he explains the following. The tradition of saying bless you after somebody sneezes is one of the oldest recorded traditions that exists from ancient times that is still extremely prevalent in the modern day. And I would argue that most of the people that say bless you do it to be kind and polite. However, they have no idea what the origin of what they're saying even means. But don't worry, you're watching Trust Me Bro, and you're gonna learn. Some people claim that the origin of saying bless you after somebody sneezes dates back to the ancient Romans and ancient Greeks, who were believed to have seen sneezing as a divine sign. In some cases as a good sign, but in most cases a bad sign. And this bad sign was typically interpreted as your soul literally leaving your body.
What? Are you? Oh, so I was completely wrong. Where did I hear that from?
Or as you being attacked by some sort of unseen demon. In the case of your soul leaving your body, it was believed that during a sneeze, your soul would at least temporarily leave your body, and for that reason, it was vulnerable to be taken by Satan, which is
What were these guys on thinking about this?
why anybody with an earshot who had heard your sneeze would bless you to protect your soul from being stolen by the devil. And in the case of being attacked by a demon, some believed that sneezing was a form of you removing evil spirits from your body. And in this case,
It kind of is, right? Doesn't your body, anatomically speaking, your body initiates the sneeze to get rid of dust or foreign objects in your nostrils? I'm pretty sure. Maybe.
standards would say bless you simply to help you further remove these evil spirits. I don't know about you, but both of these to me are extremely interesting because something that is now seen as a polite thing to say was literally a casual form of exorcism in ancient times. In any instance, people would say bless you literally as a form of blessing you or protecting you from this divine or supernatural experience that could potentially be negative. And even if it were positive, they were simply affirming your positive divine experience. Besides the Roman and Greek origins of the phrase, there's also another origin that dates back all the way to medieval Europe, specifically around the bubonic plague. During the bubonic...
Wait, I think this is what he's talking about. The thing I don't even remember where I heard this from though, but
plague, one of the earliest warning signs, at least that was believed at the time, was sneezing. And it was for this reason that anytime somebody heard somebody sneezing, they would offer them a blessing.
So this was the meaning that I was familiar with. Let me know if you guys I've had different ones than the ones he stated, which is the one that I believe or that I was told, which is the sneezing and coughing with the plague, or the ancient Greek and Roman times, where they were doing many exorcisms of demons.
As they knew that the next time they would see this person, they likely wouldn't be alive. Regardless of which origin you subscribe to.
Is that Harambe? Oh my goodness.
The fact that we still do this in the modern day, to me at least, is interesting. Because I would argue
Harambe in 2026 is mythical pull.
that basically nobody in the modern day are helping people expel demons or wishing them a safe passage to the afterlife when they say bless you after hearing a sneeze. And while the tradition is still popular in the modern day, it really has no practical purpose besides being polite. But I do think the history is interesting and, well, there's nothing wrong with being polite, so while there's no reason for this tradition,
This blushing is adorable.
I don't mind it being around. Oh, and if you're curious about the meaning behind Gesundheit Gesundheit, those weirdos that say Gesundheit after you sneeze, well, that actually stems from the German language, because the word Gesundheit is actually somewhat borrowing the German words for health or good health. And this tradition is actually more so modern, taking place in the 20th century. And while it doesn't have the divine roots, it does have the same core message of wishing you good health. But yeah, I honestly don't know who says Gesundheit. If you do,
I haven't heard it in a long time, but I might start. I might start using it. No, I'm playing. I like bless you. Bless you's good.
comment below.
I've heard a lot of people in the workplace say "excuse me" now. Or yeah, excuse me or bless you, or excuse you, I guess. But I don't know. Sometimes it seems like it's a little bit rude. Just say bless you. You know what I mean? Who would get offended if you blessing them, bro? Why, would you reject them motherfuckers' blessings for you sneezing? Hell no. Who would? Bro?
Subscribe. As your friend begins to close the book, for a second time, another plume of dust shoots up his nose and he sneezes once again, further covering the seat back in front of him with his green goo. And because of this, you both go silent, trying to figure out how you're gonna clean up all this snot. But in your silence and pondering, you hear the people in front of you speaking. And fortunately, they're not speaking about your snot. They're speaking about natural disasters of all things. You decide to listen in. And one thing you notice is that every hurricane they mention has a name. And while in the modern day this is commonplace, your inquisitive mind can't help but ask, what is the ancient origin?
I wonder who is the official namer of these natural disasters, or specifically the hurricanes?
Of naming storms after people, specifically women, for a very long time. And while you don't see this out loud, the inquisitive look on your face and you slowly pointing at the book is enough of a hint for your friend to open the book and find the ancient origin of the tradition of naming storms. And while he is still in no condition to read, he leans the book towards you and it reads the following. The tradition of naming storms dates all the way back to
This better not just be a woman joke. That would be so good.
the 1800s. And while it once again isn't ancient, I think it's old enough. Regardless, during the 1800s, specifically in countries and islands that saw a ton of hurricane activity, decided to start naming these tropical storms after saints.
Oh, saints. What? Why?
Specifically saints that had days dedicated to them. And how they would associate these names to these storms as whichever saint's day was closest to the day of the storm would have their name given to the storm as well. So for example, on July 26, 1925, the hurricane was called Hurricane Santa Ana, and
Okay.
so on and so forth. But while this tradition was happening in smaller island nations, it wasn't commonplace globally yet. And in most places of the world that didn't see tropical storms very often, how they would identify storms is simply by addressing them by the longitude and latitude that they were currently at. Now, the only problem with
That's boring, dude. Your common people are not sitting there for that. Yo, you see the hurricane that hit that 15 north and 30 east? Yeah, that was devastating. Like, no one's remembering those numbers.
this was that it was kind of confusing for regular people because most people are not familiar with the longitude
Yo, bro, I just said that. Let's go.
or latitude they live at. And also, if somebody was trying to track multiple storms, it would be a plethora of numbers they would have to memorize and try to decipher rather than just remembering a name, something most people are pretty good with already. In the early 1900s, the tradition of giving storms non-numerical names started to gain popularity, although these names were always retrospective, specifically naming storms after locations that they destroyed. Although giving a storm a name after the fact doesn't help save any lives. And it was for this reason that in the 1950s in the United States, meteorologists began giving storms names in alphabetical order. However, these names were not human names, they were military names, such as Bravo, Echo, words
Oh, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo. Forgot what the
like that. Although that naming structure actually only existed
Frieza.
for 3 years, until in 1953 when meteorologists officially began naming hurricanes after women. That's right, they began using human names, but only female human names, of course going in alphabetical order. Now, if you have a keen eye, you would notice
Yo, sync. Will you go on Titanic 2 in 2027? Absolutely not. Will I go on Titanic? I've never even been on a cruise ship, let alone like a cruise boat or anything. I didn't even know. Wait, I didn't even know they were making a Titanic 2. Are they actually, or are you trolling? No way, right? What? Titanic 2 build. There's no way that's actually happening. Planned to start in 2025? What? They're actually building the second Titanic? You know what happened to the first one is real? Well, yeah, dude. Yeah, I know it. I know it was real. And they even made a movie about it that was like really, really popular. But Titanic 2, bro, what like who's funding that? And what is going to be the purpose? Purpose of Titanic 2. Another movie? That's going to be the purpose? To honor the original ship's legacy in the 21st safety navigation technology. Okay. Damn. Yeah, the first one crashed into an ice cap and sunk the ship, killing hundreds of people, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, will I go on Titanic 2? Absolutely not. I would love to watch the YouTubers and streamers and celebrities that are going to be on there, though. 110%. You don't think Speed's going to be on that new Titanic? Bro, he's going to be one of the first people on it, bro.
Is that, well, in the modern day, storms are named after men, and I'm curious if you know, what year did they begin naming storms after men as well? If you said 1979, you'd be right, which
Why would... I don't even know a common person that would know about these kind of facts.
means that for 26 years, storms were named exclusively after women, which to me just seems illogical. And I'm curious if they added men's names to be fair or just because they were running out of names. Regardless, the sexism in that is an entirely different ancient tradition that we're not discussing in this video. With the introductions of human names, there has also been an introduction of retiring names if the storm was catastrophic enough, meaning that there is...
It's a real boat? What do you mean? Is it considered a boat? Not for... I know it's not for a movie. I'm saying, would they progress? Would they make the whole... My original topic was thinking that the Titanic 2's built purpose was specifically for the movie. But the purpose is just to advance technological advancement for... Is it considered a boat? What kind of boat is the... Titanic? A British Olympic ocean liner. Okay, so it is a boat. Steamship. What is it? Yeah. There's also a movie for it. Yeah, so they're gonna... Damn, that's awesome. Is it public? Hold on. Can the public board the Titanic? Yes, the public is able to board the Titanic 2. It's playing a replica original liner owned by Australian businessman Clive Palmer based. Okay, that's fire. But the Titanic 2 you can ride. That's gonna be sick. I might look into it.
Some
Seems
human
pretty
names
cool.
that...
Maybe not. I don't know. I don't even know if I want to take that risk. I haven't even been on a boat or like a cruise or something like that. So
storms will never have again, like Katrina, for example. But yeah, the tradition of naming storms isn't necessarily ancient, although it has a very interesting history in my opinion. And while naming storms
that's pretty interesting though. I wonder if they make it like a cruise theme, you know what I mean? And where would they even travel? It's going to be the first Titanic? How do you mean? Following the same routes as the first. Oh shit. Is that a good idea though? Are they sure that that ice cap has separated and there's no like sub-terror? You know what I mean? They definitely had to do some safety precautions for that because there's no way they'd let it happen twice. Yo, if they let that shit happen twice, that'd be sick.
The longitude and latitude, in my opinion, is way too overcomplicated. I feel like giving them human names is almost a bit too simple as well. And I feel like there's possibly a middle ground of names that sound scientific but are also easy to understand and communicate. Like, for example, like some sort of code. Like, look at German cars. C63 AMG, M340i, not a real M car, A8, Porsche 911 GTS. All relatively simple and scientific sounding naming structures that aren't, well, giving storms human personas. This kind of reminds me of the media giving like serial killer.
Like it's gonna drive by the haunted Titanic that's underwater. What?
Unintentionally really cool names. Like, it's not helping anything. And I feel like if you're a kid in school and let's say that Hurricane Luke is coming to town, if you're a kid in school and your name is Luke, you are going to get picked on.
That's gonna suck. Yeah.
For the next while. And every time there's an update in the news, everybody's saying, oh, Luke's coming to town. Look what Luke did. And as a kid, that's probably going to be pretty annoying. Regardless, you've now got to the bottom of another outdated tradition. As you and your friend complete reading this section of the book, your friend closes the book and you both sit and reflect. And you really can't help yourself but say, wow, I truly am grateful to live in a place that doesn't have hurricanes. Sure, we might have snow and high taxes, but I mean, no hurricanes is a big...
You should go on it. Why are you so obsessed with the Titanic? Is the Titanic too boardable? No, it's not currently. Does not. Oh, exists. Okay. Would I go on it if I had an invite and I didn't have to pay for anything? Absolutely, I'd be one of the first motherfuckers on it. But depending on how much the tickets are projected to be, I don't know. They would probably make it like a cruise, no? Yeah.
Plus.
I would only assume so. Could only assume.
And while your friend...
But yeah, I would go on it if they did give me the opportunity to. 110%. You know what I'm saying?
Agreeing with you, he actually remembers that he has an upcoming trip to Florida. And because of this, he says, hopefully a hurricane doesn't hit when I'm in Florida next month. And immediately...
Will you swim with great whites? I don't think I'd be comfortable swimming with any sharks. Maybe like... I don't know, actually. I've never even been in deep salt water and swam with like dolphins or anything like that, or clear water. Only water I've been into in the deep was brackish water. And that's like jelly, and not even deep water, like shallow. So like jellyfish, some fish, some regular fish, some clay, some oyster traps. That's hurt pretty bad. Yeah, I haven't been in any like deep freshwater or salt water. So I don't know. I definitely would if it was like supervised, or they did like cages. If I had a cage around me and I was taking pictures and pissing them off, that'd be great. That'd be funny.
After
just
he says
rage bait a bunch of sharks. Hopefully they don't destroy the cage and kill you.
that, he knocks...
I've been in Bridgewater, PA. Oh, nice. That's cool. It's deep. It's hot. I have a houseboat there. Damn, that's fire. Do you go fishing there as well, or?
On the closest piece of wood he can find, obviously ensuring that he didn't just bring negativity onto his trip. But almost instantly after knocking on the wood, your friend sees the look in your eyes and knows that you're inquisitive on why do people knock on wood after they say something that could be unfortunate. And before you can say anything, he's already opening the book, looking for an explanation. And what he reveals is the following. Interestingly, people knocking on wood is extremely similar to people throwing coins into natural springs. In both of these instances, individuals are believing that they are interacting with spirits and actively bringing good fortune and blessings onto themselves. However, the way that knocking on wood works is just a bit different. The origin of the wood knocking tradition is believed to date back to Celtic or German folklore. And it's believed within this folklore that benevolent, supernatural beings live in trees. You know, fairies, sprites, and just general positive spirits. It was because of this belief that
I'm conditioned to always think of sprites not as like soot sprites or a fairy. I'm always thinking about the soda, bro. So every time I hear Sprite, just the Sprite cranberry hologram is spinning in my head immediately, dude.
Fortunate and positive spirits were living in trees, that people began to form the tradition of touching trees or knocking on trees specifically to wake up the spirits and request good luck from them. This touching or knocking could also be a sign of gratitude, thanking them for good fortune that you've experienced, which of course rings similar to the first section where people would put an offering into a natural spring to show gratitude or to request good fortune. Now, interestingly, the belief that trees are sacred or full of positive spirits isn't necessarily exclusive to German or Celtic mythology. And this belief has actually existed throughout almost all of time in basically every culture. Trees, in my opinion, are really cool. And almost every ancient and modern culture has recognized that in one way or another. And knocking on wood is simply one example of that. That has, I guess, evolved and transformed over time. And while most people who still knock on wood for good luck don't necessarily know why they're doing it, and they're definitely not praying to spirits within the wood, they are displaying a bit of belief and a bit of superstition, which go to show the strength of...
What superstitions do you guys believe in? I think the only superstition that I believe in... Damn, I'm trying to think, maybe. I don't know. I don't even know if I do believe in superstitions, because I open umbrellas indoors all the time to check to see if they work when I'm shopping for umbrellas. You ever... What? No, absolutely not. Never mind. Dude. Are you serious? You ever fucked a tree before? Absolutely not. Who in the right mind is just gonna wake up one day and be like, hell yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna try to do. Why? Why? What would, bro? You would have had to like, don't answer that. It's easy. It's the simple. Hell no. Why? What? Who's doing that? Are you doing that?
Beliefs and the importance of traditions within history. So yeah, even though knocking on wood just seems like a funny thing to do so you don't jinx yourself, the ancient origins of this tradition are a lot less silly and a lot more serious.
Dude.
And they might make you look at trees just a little bit differently. But with all of the talking that you and your friend have been doing, Day
I've
has
seen okay, that just reminds me of tree days. I see hella tree day. Like hella goots. Bro, I'll be in the shit's gonna what is wrong with you?
Turn tonight on this train ride and you see one of the train employees approaching you with the beverage cart. You and your friend both take an adult beverage, and before either of you dare take a sip from your glasses, you delicately touch the two glasses together and then proceed to drink. Luckily, at this point in the train ride, your friend already knows the drill. And fortunately, this time he doesn't even need to consult the book because he knows why we do this. And after he takes a firm gulp of his drink, he tells you the following. There's actually a few really interesting reasons why people would cheers their drink. One of the most popular explanations why people
Poison, right? Okay, I'm gonna immediately deduce. I don't know about this. I've never even like heard of this being explained. But I think the reason why people clink drinks is because like say the two cups, right, have liquid in them. They clink and the liquids splash into each other. It's like a sign of trust, maybe, between leaders, making sure that they're not going to get poisoned.
People would clink their glasses or cheers in ancient times is because they wanted to make sure that their drink was not poisoned.
Lock me in, bro. I swear to you, I swear to everything. I just deduced that. I have not heard about that previously. So.
Believe that people would cheers their drinks with so much force that the liquid would literally spill out of the cups and kind of just, cross-contaminate drinks with each other. But this was strategic to ensure that if your drink was poisoned and your guest witnessed your drink go into their drink, if they were hesitant to have their drink, then you could kind of know your drink was poisoned. This was definitely some ancient 5D chess. Although with poisonings being rather common in ancient times, this isn't necessarily an unbelievable explanation and does make sense. Although it isn't the only reason why people would cheers in previous times.
I found that completely logical.
And another common reason why people would cheers glasses in ancient times is to ward off evil spirits. It was believed by some cultures that the loud noise of the glasses hitting each other were loud enough to scare away evil spirits. And this practice was kind of linked to church bells as well, which I think also makes sense. But regardless, obviously the tradition of warding off evil spirits and sharing poison still exists, but its meaning is completely different. And in the modern day, people cheers simply to show a sign of unity and respect. Although, if you ever believe your drink is poisoned, well, just make sure you cheers really hard. But considering most of the glasses that people use today are bought from Temu, well, if you try doing an aggressive cheers, you're just...
Or plastic, bro. Them shits are invincible, and they look exactly like glass. I'm gonna keep it a buck. There's like those Temu fancy wine glasses that deadass look like glasses, but they're made out of some plastic that some little kid in China made, bro. It's ridiculous. How durable it is.
On the table and have glass shards in your hand. So instead, if you really want to protect yourself from poison and express some unity and good cheer, subscribe to the channel. We currently have over 1.1 million bros and we're on the road to 2 million bros. And we have a strict no poisoning policy here, meaning that you're safe to subscribe and enjoy great videos every single Friday, just like this. And if you want more videos like this one,
leave every Friday. That's awesome.
Like or leave a comment below saying part 2 so that I know you want more videos about ancient traditions that we still do today. And with this, let's continue to the final few traditions of this video. As you and your friend are finishing your drink...
Does couple mean 2 and few means 3? No, that's just the last one.
And beginning to relax, you notice the train employee coming back to collect your glasses. But you realize they're not empty-handed. They're actually holding a birthday cake. Now, obviously, you're shocked because it's not your birthday whatsoever. Although your friend has a look in his face that he told the train it was your birthday, A, to embarrass you, and B, to get a free cake. And after the train staff finish singing happy...
You get it for free? On train rides? Do they actually do that? Do they give you free cake?
Happy birthday.
Yo, if so, that's the method, bro. I drive a car. But if I take trains, I'm doing that.
You two are both left with a cake and one candle on it. But before you can even blow out this candle, your inquisitive mind gets the best of you. And your friend, once again, refers to the book. And this one is mind-blowing. The tradition of putting candles on a cake and blowing them out actually...
I genuinely have never questioned this a single day of my life. Why would that even on your birthday too? I still okay. I still don't understand. Well, no, I do understand why humans celebrate their birthday, but I wonder. Dang. Nah, yeah, I understand. I was gonna say I don't get why humans do it, but it's a tradition. Celebrates your life and your growth, so makes complete good sense.
Actually dates back thousands of years to the ancient Greeks. The ancient Greeks would bake round cakes in honor of Artemis, the goddess of the moon. But not only would they bake these cakes in honor of the moon, but they would place candles on top of the cake to replicate the moon's signature glow. Once again, further honoring
That's sick. That's cool. And then it just became a
the
tradition.
moon. After the ancient Greeks had created their own edible moon replica, they would then make wishes that they believed the smoke from the candles were lifting to the moon god in hopes that the
that's
moon god
sick.
would answer their prayers and make their dreams come true. Over time, the tradition of baking cakes, putting candles on them, and allowing the smoke from the candles to rise was associated with different celebrations, and eventually became associated with birthdays. And from there, the tradition of allowing the candles to burn turned into blowing the candles out.
That's actually really cool. That's so unique, and I never even would have thought in a million years that would be the reason why.
To further allow the smoke
The
to
wishes
rise
makes
and, of
sense,
course, make your wish come true. And while in the modern day, I would imagine that basically nobody is trying to have their wishes granted by the moon god Artemis, the fact that this tradition still remains nearly untouched from its
I
ancient
wonder what is more popular, monotheistic religion or polytheistic religions? I'll look it up after this video.
traditional form, in my opinion, is at least very interesting and gives you a fun fact to share at every birthday party you go to. And it's kind of funny to just imagine somebody, praying to the moon god and offering them a cake, only for somebody to walk up and be like, oh, can we do this tomorrow? Tomorrow's my birthday, and we can pray together, and then we can eat the cake. Like, it's just over time, people just took this opportunity of praying to gods and creating cakes as offerings to being like, actually, this is about me now. But yeah, that's why we blow out candles. Not because we all want to be amateur firefighters, but because thousands of years ago, people wanted the moon to grant their wishes. And while you and your friend complete this cake you received based off of lies, you feel tired and sluggish after the day of travel and the massive sugar intake. And for that reason, you decide to close your eyes and take a nap before your train gets to your
They didn't even move a single position. They didn't lean their chair back or anything. They just ate, sat straight up, got fat, and just like lifted their heads down and just closed their eyes and fall asleep. Yo, yeah, ever feel all right? I used to always feel like this when I was little. But every time my mom would get us breakfast at McDonald's, the McGriddles were like $1 or something. I'd get like 3 of those. I didn't give a fuck. My sister slamming. I'd be in the back seat eating all of the McGriddles in one sitting. I'd feel like shit, dude. It feels so amazing going in. And you just sit in your stomach and you feel so sick and you're just like maybe 30 grams of sugar straight to the dome to start your morning. And I'd be having a nap all the way home, dude.
destination, completing the story for at least this video. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this story-based episode of Trust Me Bro. Recently, I've been doing my best to make my videos not just regular lists, but actually turning them into full-fledged stories. And so far, it seems like you guys have really enjoyed them. So if you do like this story-based format, leave a like or just leave a comment below telling me you want more story-based videos. I really appreciate
Bet awesome. All right, that was Ancient Rules You Still Follow for Absolutely No Reason by Trust Me Bro. That was good. Interesting. A lot of things that I didn't even know. Yeah, super unique. Really cool.